The Tarkov devs have completely lost it to greed.
Today is a very unfortunate situation, honestly, that didn't need to happen at all, but hopefully it can be remedied because Battlestate Games, the makers of Escape from Tarkov, which is the dominant extraction shooter on the market right now for the time being, have decided to go completely mask off with their greed in a way that has the community up in arms and could possibly end up in some sort of legal battle. Maybe. Because the stuff that they're pulling right now is really egregious. Short background here on my own personal history with Tarkov so people know exactly what position I'm speaking from. I played it way back in the day when it first came out, and I sucked. Dropped it almost right away, stopped caring completely, and then later, the most recent wipe actually, I started back in with a couple of friends. The gameplay you see in the background is theirs, not mine. They've been playing a lot longer than me and have way more exciting clips to offer, which led me to play quite a bit more this time, sparking a pretty high amount of enthusiasm for the game, which I'm intending to play extensively next wipe with them again. I'm no expert, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I certainly do care for the game, and one of the ways that I showed that appreciation was by purchasing what was then called the Edge of Darkness edition, which came with a pretty hefty set of bonus items. If we look here...
Wow, that is really something of a name, huh? Edge of Darkness edition.
Here at an archived version of the webpage, we can see that there's a number of different version types, but being that I was playing with friends and taking the game kinda seriously, I went for the cream of the crop, the limited edition package, which cost $150. To be
Also, it probably wasn't limited at all.
clear, I don't regret that purchase. Well, I didn't regret that purchase at all when actively using it. But now I have to wonder what exactly the point of supporting them was, if they're willing to disrespect their community this badly and lower themselves with what can really only be described as excessive levels of greed. For anyone who doesn't know, I'll give you a really quick rundown here. Escape from Tarkov is pay to win. If you buy the better versions of the game, you get more gear at the start of the wipe, and that
Effectively, also Escape from Tarkov is developed by Russians. So there you kind of have your summary of why it's the way it is.
gear translates to a very tangible in-game advantage. I know those words are like nails on a chalkboard to people. Pay to win is universally derided as bad. But the thing about Tarkov is that being a full loot extraction shooter with realistic gunplay makes it relatively easy to get past the starting loadouts, and the real defining factors in play here are game knowledge and skill. That being said, and I'm trying to be charitable here, the $150 version absolutely has things that make the gameplay easier, or let you extract more gear safely, or store more things in your stash, etc. Meaning that while I absolutely did support this game because I enjoy it, the package that they were offering had gameplay implications that a lot of people take very seriously. Let's take a look at what those items are precisely, because it matters quite a bit for what comes next. On an archived version of their website, we can see the following. Free access to Escape from Tarkov Arena, which is a companion game with a more Call of Duty style deathmatch to it. It's honestly not that good in my opinion. That's a big one though, because it is kind of like a standalone game. Guaranteed access, instant access to closed beta, digital copy preload, huge stash size, which isn't even that big to be honest, additional equipment and resources, that's pretty big, initial standing with traders, unique ID, and then, importantly, free access to all subsequent DLCs, as well as, listed on a completely different support page, the unique 3x3 secure container. For anyone who doesn't play very much or just doesn't know, that's a lot of stuff that dramatically impacts your overall experience. However, that was the Edge of Darkness package, which is for all of us lowly stupid plebs, I guess, because now we have the Unheard edition, which is...
Okay, this is obviously where it gets really spicy. This is just the prelude. Now, things get real good.
Pretty disrespectful, I'm not gonna lie. This is the Unheard edition, right here on the screen. It's got a whole trailer where they announce things and puff it up and hype everybody. But I'll just read the important parts off quickly. Access to PvE co-op mode with persistent progression, meaning progression that will not reset between wipes, which is fantastic, and people have been hoping for something like that for a long time. A unique melee weapon, bigger stash, free access to all DLCs, which is odd because I thought the Edge of Darkness $150 edition came with that, unless we're somehow in a new season, apparently, and a few more things on top. Seems pretty straightforward, right? A lot of things, but wait a second, the price tag? $250. That is...
Okay. How pissed were people about this? I only found out about this situation yesterday when a guild friend told me about this in World of Warcraft, and how bad this is. Well, if you go on their Discord server yesterday, you couldn't actually do anything there because it pretty much instantaneously crashed from how much people were typing, spamming, memeing, and whatnot. This is an absolute blatant, beyond pay-to-win move. Like, Disney is currently looking at this and saying, we should learn from these people. Every pay-to-win game currently is looking at this and they're applauding how greedy this is. EA currently is putting the Tarkov people in charge in their Hall of fucking Fame for this move right here. Because not only is this 250 from 150, but this completely devalidates everyone who spent 150 in the first place anyway. And, well, if they're gonna devalidate your purchase of that with this, who's gonna say that they're not gonna, in a month, add something that costs like 350 or 450 or 500 bucks? Nothing. That's the thing. Nothing. They can just add it and there's no problem with this. Yeah, people are rightfully beyond pissed about this situation.
Wildly overpriced, no matter what you think of their company. Even the original $150 version was high, like very high.
Yep.
But hey, I certainly got my money's worth, so I'm not complaining on that front. However, $250 is completely egregious to a point where on principle, I simply cannot buy that. Even so, that's the least of their problems, because if all they had done was release an overpriced pay-to-win super bundle, people wouldn't even be half as angry as they are right now. See, 2 months ago, the CEO of Battlestate Games, the development company behind Escape from Tarkov, posted on Reddit pointedly advertising that an upcoming patch would have the ability to play offline co-op, and this is the best part, for Edge of Darkness owners. The CEO was on social media saying, hey guys, we're going to release this super cool thing for all you special customers who bought $150 worth of our product. And then 2 months later, they released that super cool thing behind a $250 paywall. Dude, what were they thinking with this? But wait, like an infomercial, there's more. Because not only did they take this thing that was supposed to be given out to the existing player base who had purchased a particular edition, and presto changeo, no, you don't get that anymore. But the $250 super version doesn't give access to the arena mode. To be completely honest, I don't think a lot of people should give a shit about that because arena isn't nearly as popular as an off.
Well, it's still something that you don't get. And by the way, how does this even make sense? So $150 limited edition whatever MacGuffin is not better than the 250 edition one? Well, like, what is even going on here? It doesn't even follow base logic that more expensive should usually mean more better. Well, I guess here's the key takeaway. Usually should mean better. So, is this 250 thing just, to make people accidentally buy it because they want the arena also? Maybe? Who knows?
Offline mode, not even close. But it highlights how chopped up and parceled out the game is by a dev company that is completely succumbing to their inner voice of greed. Here's where I kind of lost it and decided I can't possibly support a game that does this. Remember that pesky little item from the Edge of Darkness edition, the unique secure container? Yeah, Battlestate Games in real time today went and stripped the word unique off of the website, as well as, get this, altering a segment of text that used to read, quote, free access to all subsequent DLC, Season Pass, such as Escape from Tarkov Arena, and now just says, free access to all subsequent DLC, Season Pass, end quote. I guess they just decided to go back on their word? Figured they would...
Yeah, that's it. You bought something, welcome to the digital age. You bought something, the developers decide, hey, no, you didn't actually buy that, and you're like, well... It's fun. It's fun. It is what it is. Good times.
Hide the evidence or protect themselves from a potential lawsuit? I honestly don't know. It doesn't make any sense. The changes happened on April 25th, which is precisely when a particular large streamer, I think, was apparently calling them out for that bit of language, which would then mean that someone from the company watched a stream on Twitch, saw someone criticize them for being greedy and tone deaf on this new $250 bundle, and then deleted.
Just saying that this is only tone deaf is a little bit of an understatement in this situation, I feel like. I think it's a little bit worse than just being slightly tone deaf, if you will.
The word unique as well as any reference to the arena mode so that they would look better? Stop
Probably.
people from noticing? They already noticed, bro. What is the logic here? As if to solidify an atmosphere of we have no idea what we're doing right now and the intern is running the social media, Battlestate Games went on...
And now this is like the Streisand effect in full swing, by the way, because, they wanted to quietly retcon things, but because they decided to do that, now everyone is up in arms and knows about it and is talking about it.
Twitter, during this controversy, to directly call out one of their competitors who was attempting to gain market share from Tarkov during all the backlash, which might seem like a good idea if you're 17 years old and never discovered how social media actually works, but really all they're doing is broadcasting a separate place for their own customers to go after they decided that outright lying to everyone was a super good idea. Meanwhile, there's a massive level of excitement building right now for another extraction shooter called Gray Zone, meaning that not only did they choose greed over community sentiment, just point blank, with a $250 bundle that never should have existed in the...
This happens, by the way, constantly in gaming. This is by no means a new thing. When someone is the biggest in their genre, the biggest in their field, and they have become a big fish in a small pond, they typically feel like they can do whatever they want, and they do whatever they want. And then they do this, and they completely destroy themselves, and they're no longer a big fish in a small pond. Now they're a smaller fish in the same pond because everyone else got bigger off of you. What a great thing. What a great way to go. And so many companies do this. It's insane. How do they not learn that this is gonna only backfire? That it can only backfire? Be blatantly dicks to your community about something like this, and, well, obviously no one's gonna give you roses and hugs.
First place. They also did it right before their own community has a heavyweight viable alternative to them, meaning what exactly? Are they scared about the future of the product and monetizing as heavily as possible before that happens? Are they actually tone deaf enough to where this made sense to someone internally and they thought, yeah, let's lie to everybody? Or is it like some twisted comedy of errors where no one actually knew the full story and the left hand couldn't see what the right hand was doing? Like they had no idea what was happening, which is how they ended up with the CEO claiming one thing on social media right before they released one of the most overpriced DLCs in history, which completely contradicts him. Their Discord server is in open rebellion, flooding the chat rooms with copy-pasted criticism of the company's decision-making process. Their Reddit mod...
Since 2016, players have supported developers by purchasing the highest edition of the game. For 8 years, we've been recommending this game to friends, bringing more and more players into the community. And what was the developers' response? They blew us off, refused to communicate, and only encouraged those who have lost all respect for themselves and continue to pour money in. I personally had high hopes for Tarkov. In my eyes, it was a high quality and most ambitious product on the entire market. This is unacceptable. This is selfish. This is disrespectful. You've disgraced yourself completely. You've lost loyal players. You betrayed the idea. It's disgusting. To everyone who feels the same way, don't be silent. Spam, make memes, spread the word wherever it's relevant. This cannot be tolerated since 20. Oh, he just double pasted it. Okay. Yeah, this is what's happening. And the server obviously broke down. And look at that. This is new people coming in just to spread the message. Man, why? Just why do you do this sort of crap? It never works out. Like, dude, just put in smaller packs with great value so people buy them. Why go for the 250 pack that pisses everyone off? It's like, big number, good? It's so disappointing and frustrating.
Mods are, quote, just as livid about the situation.
And I'm not a Tarkov player. I have never even played the game. I have heard about it, but it's still super just disappointing as, a gamer in general. Especially how often this happens, honestly.
As you are, end quote, and have now suspended some of the subreddit's own rules so that people can flood it with criticism, right? They're getting rid of rules to make it so that you can spam the subreddit more with criticism of BSG, Battlestate Games. Usually when these type of situations happen, there's like a diehard holdout coalition of superfans who try and fight back on behalf of the company against every single thing that the haters say. But Battlestate Games has no one. I don't think I've seen a single person, actually, defending them on this. Like, not a single one, which is about as rare as a total solar eclipse or something. You have to screw up unbelievably bad to make it so that even your own Reddit mods turn against you. Oh, remember that unique melee weapon? Yeah, it's a knife, and apparently it's just a stock asset from the Unreal store.
Nice.
Which is fine. In the grand scheme of things, that's a really small criticism to have here.
Damn.
But it speaks to the fact that their community sentiment...
No, it's not a small thing. You literally put it as a big selling point, and it's shit. You're putting shit into your super expensive Omega bundle. That's what you're doing. Even if this bundle somehow did not break the trust of everyone by already what it did, the fact that you're putting absolute trash in it and demanding money for it, it tells me all I need to honestly know in this situation.
Has been completely destroyed on a scale that you don't often see in video games. You get these Black Swan events sometimes, Anthem, Fallout 76, etc. But by and large, when talking about an established game at least, you typically don't see this level of backlash. Regardless, I hopped over to my studio tonight to talk about all this because, oddly enough, Tarkov has been one of the games I'm most looking forward to. The prospect of playing another wipe with my group of friends, especially now that I know...
Well, I guess that's it. That was upper echelon. 10 out of 10. Anyway, this is Quizzer Said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and Tarkov. Wow. How things happen, huh? Bye-bye.